I made a punny wall of shame for people who stole from my mom's garden. So my mom has been into gardening for years. She's got rose bushes, potted succulents, those little yard gnomes, tulip bulbs, the whole thing. Her front yard looks like something out of a home magazine, and people just kept stealing from it. I'm not talking about one incident. I'm talking about like 10 different times over the past year. Someone took 2 potted plants right off her porch. Another person dug up an entire section of tulip bulbs. Someone else cut every single rose off her bushes one night. Like, who does that? Just go to the store and buy flowers like a normal person. My mom was so upset every time it happened. She'd spend months growing something and then wake up one morning to find it just gone. She started checking her garden first thing every morning like she was doing security rounds. Here's where it gets good though. I park my car in her driveway whenever I visit, and my dash cam faces right toward the garden bed. I never really thought about it until my mom mentioned the thefts kept happening. So I went through weeks of footage, and I caught almost all of them. Clear shots of their faces. One lady literally drove up in broad daylight, walked over, and dug up a whole plant with her bare hands. Another guy snipped roses while his wife waited in the car like it was a drive-thru. A teenager grabbed a gnome and ran off laughing with his friends. So I had this idea. I printed out all their faces and made a poster, but I didn't want it to be aggressive or anything, so I made it funny, like really corny plant puns. At the top it said, "Oh hey there, don't be a daffodil and steal, or else you might end up doing hard time. We hope this'll be a lesson to you." Then I arranged all the photos around the border and gave each person a fake name. The lady who dug up the plant, Dirtbag. The rose guy, Prick. The teenager with the gnome, Mr. Potato Head. There was also Pothead for someone who took a pot, Sucker for the succulent thief, I peony in my pants for this nervous-looking dude, Dilettante, Frondless, Infertile, and Root Boy. My mom absolutely lost it when she saw it. She was laughing so hard she had tears in her eyes. She told me to hang it up right away on the fence facing the sidewalk where everyone could see it. So I did. For like 3 days it was just funny. People walking by would stop and read it and laugh. Some neighbors even thanked my mom because apparently a few of these people had stolen from their yards too. Then the complaints started rolling in. First, this guy named Gerald showed up at the door looking all serious. His son was one of the people on the poster, the teenager who took the gnome. Gerald told me I needed to take the sign down immediately. He said his son was a minor and what I did was disproportionate. He said his son only took the gnome because his girlfriend was sick and he wanted to cheer her up with something cute. He called it a dumb mistake and said I was being petty and publicly shaming a child. I told him it wasn't that big of a deal. It's a poster with plant puns. His kid stole from an old lady's garden. Maybe don't do that and you won't end up on a wall of shame. Gerald got all red in the face and said I was being unreasonable and that this could affect his son's reputation. So I called his kid a little birch. Gerald looked like his head was about to explode. He pointed his finger at me and said I was going to regret this, then stormed off. 2 days later, another knock on the door. This time my mom answered. It was some guy in a polo shirt holding a cutting from one of my mom's plants. Turns out his wife was on the poster too, the one I called Dilettante. He explained that his wife took a cutting to propagate at home, thinking it wouldn't be a big deal, except she cut off like a quarter of the plant doing it. He said she didn't mean any harm and asked if we could please take down the sign because she was on the board of directors for some town committee and this was embarrassing for her. My mom looked at him, looked at the cutting in his hand, and told him to make like a bee and buzz off. The guy just stood there for a second like he couldn't believe what he just heard. Then he left without saying another word.